Hi, everybody. Welcome to Flow State, reconnecting to the energetics of wellness and water. Oh, this is my jam. I really love this, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you all. And I know that if you're here, I know you're understanding somewhat to the element of water and energetics play a role in our health and our life. And often it's the missing piece. So I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining along. And if you're catching the replay, awesome. It's been lovely to connect. And I really just want to share a little bit about who I am and a little bit on my journey. I'm Tracy. I'm the founder of Elemental Freedom and Cleanse and Align Community. Through this journey, I've created a podcast, a really mostly spiritual, awakening, health, energetics kind of podcast. So that's been exciting to launch that this year. But really, my journey started when I was in my teens and I watched my mum, who now has MS, really struggle with this diagnosis. And it really got me thinking about health and wellness. And it led me on this path and journey that has had full of twists and turns. And actually, it's been an awakening journey, if I'm being completely honest, because what ended up happening is I seen the dysfunction that we are sitting in our society, in how food and water are being handled and produced, the toxins that we're spraying on them, the things that are being landing in the air. And it just blew my mind when I come to realize what's actually going on, because I'm a little clean green Kiwi. I came from an area where I thought, everything was pure. And it was where I came from. We were living off the farm. We didn't really spray things on the farm back then, and really living off the land. And we were connected to the beautiful mountains and the waterways. And unfortunately, when I've gone back in recent years, that the same energetic feeling that I know and love and was brought up with and didn't know any different is slowly dissipating. And I've realized that, all the runoffs that's happening in the rivers and the waterways are really starting to pollute and affect what's going on in our greater ecosystem. And whenever we affect things in our greater ecosystem, we're affecting things in our microcosm ecosystem, in ourselves and in our bodies. So I've ended up on a journey where I've been traveling. I went to India. I studied Ayurveda, and that's really where it cemented my understanding of energetics and wellness. I did a lot of plant medicine journeys, and I just realized that this is actually the missing piece that people aren't really incorporating as well as we could into our lives. It's understanding the energetics of what we're consuming, how we're consuming it, but even before that, how it's being handled and what life has this food or water had before we actually get to we it gets to us and we consume it. And everything is consciousness and everything holds energy. And it is the missing piece that a lot of people have, is like when we consume things, they've got their own energy field with them. And then we are bringing it into our body. And that can be better or worse for us with our health. And this is what I really loved about understanding Ayurveda, is because there is intention when we eat. There's an understanding of the vibration of the food, of your thoughts, of how we move through the day. And it really plays such a significant role in our overall well-being. So now my journey's twisted and turned, and I'm now a wholesome wellness mentor, I call myself, and I support people to help build wellness businesses in the online space also. And in doing that, I have been helping inside of our Cleanse and Align community people to detox their bodies and align their energy systems, because when we cleanse our bodies, it is a given that our energetic field and our energetic system is upgraded. And through my own experience, and this is what I'm supporting people with, is that when we cleanse our body, our frequency rises. And if you've ever done a cleanse before, depending on the cleanse, not all cleanses are created equal, and not all cleanses are good for everybody. But there's an energetic upgrade that happens. There's a sensitivity that increases, and there's an awareness that you can't bring into your body that wasn't there before. And actually, the intuitive nature in your body has always been there. But what happens is that when we have poor habits and we're too busy, maybe we eat too much, maybe the food and drink we're drinking is a bit more toxic or acidic. And that actually numbs our energetic field down. And we become less sensitive to understanding what our body is trying to tell us. So that is my mission. That's what I'm here for. And in doing this, this is actually off the back of a group cleanse that was held inside of Cleanse and Align community. It's a free group cleanse that I take people through a couple of times a year. And following that, to amplify the cleanse process, we do water fasts. So for me, on this water fast that we just completed, I needed that extra bit to be able to get the upgrade I needed. It's different every single time, but on this one, the water fast is really what cemented my downloads and my intuitive wisdom in my own body this time. And it's a layer every time. It's a layer, it's a layer, it's a layer. And it's so important to for us who are interested in expanding our awareness and our energy field, to be able to peel back our layers and our blocks and let go of what no longer is serving us as we increase our field and we expand into our greatness. So that's what I'm about. This is how this little webinar has come about. So I hope you enjoy it, because I love sharing about this. It just really lights me up. So we are energy, we are frequency, and we're connected to it all. The question we have is, how are you choosing to vibrate today? And it's such a simple question, but sometimes we choose to vibrate poorly, because a lot of these things, it's all about perception and how we can shift our reality and increase our vibration up. Even if it's just the one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, because you can't expect to be depressed and low to flying high in a balanced way. So it can happen, but maybe that's where the condition of bipolar might come from, for example. So let's get stuck into it. I'm just going to minimize that. At the deepest level of existence, everything is energy. We are in the quantum, and we're just walking around in this big soup of energy, this big energy field. And if you really zoom out and zoom in, you can really start to understand and how the quantum world works. And it's becoming a bit of a interesting topic to talk about these days, because there's all this space in between the atoms, and we're mostly energy. So everything and every potential can exist in that space of every cell of everything. So, and it's just vibrating particles that hold us all together, and it's the unseen forces that weave the fabric of our reality together. It's quite exciting when you think about it. And then they're saying that really seemingly solid world around us is actually 99.99999% empty space. Makes sense when we talk about these electrons that are zooming around our quantum field. That is the quantum field, is the space. And electron and ions and frequency electrons are constantly in motion. They're creating electric magnetic fields that interact with everyone around them. They create negative ions, which are often found in nature, near waterfalls, crashing waves, moving water, where the water system is actually flowing in a natural rhythm. There's no hard lines from our water pipes and these systems that the water goes through before it gets to us. The negative ions are created through the natural motion and the natural movement of water. And that's why we feel so good in those areas around waterfalls and waves and the beach and moving streams, is because the movement over those natural rocks and the friction that they create these negative ions, and the negative ions make us feel amazing. So, water is the ultimate conductor, one of the most powerful energy carriers. It holds memory, absorbs vibration, transmits information through its molecular structure, and it's the right water can enhance cellular function and detoxification. Low vibrational water, on the other hand, filled with chemicals, stagnation, can lower our frequency. We're all connected to it in the quantum level, as I explained before, and then you emit the effects of everything and everyone around you. Your thoughts, emotions, and even the hydration state influence the vibrational frequency as it ripples out into the world. And one thing I often say to my kids when I see them having a real like emotional time, they're unmotivated, they're really just sort of a bit out of sorts. I'm like, have you had enough water today? Our energy field needs this water for hydration to create more energy. So often that is just what's needed is to increase our hydration. So we understand that everything is energy and it gives you the power to shift your reality. Your food you eat, the water you drink, the environment you surround yourself, it all carries frequency. And the more we align ourselves with higher vibrational elements like structured water, nature's movement, intentional thought, the more in flow we become. So, Dr. Masaru Emoto, he is that magical man from Japan who has undertaken the science and study of water crystals. And we've all heard of it before where he put the words love, wisdom on these water bottles, just writing them. He's also tested speaking them. He's also tested taking polluted or water that he's spoken harshly to, and then sent it love and prayer and good intention. And that has also transformed the water into a beautiful crystal. And you can see on the screen here, the evil, just that they just don't form those crystallized structures, and they don't look as beautiful. So, if we're talking harshly to each other, you can imagine what's happening inside our body, the consciousness of the water inside of our body when we're 70% plus water. You can just imagine what is going on. And, this is the vibrational feeling. When we feel in our feeling center, that's an understanding of our vibration. When we're feeling the love and the connection, and we know when people are being authentic in their truth, we feel that. We feel that in our energetic field. We feel that heart math. We feel that heart coherence from one person to the next person, and we can receive that. So this is how water is playing such an incredible part of not only who we are, but also how we can heal and how we can support ourselves through this journey of life, because it's a roller coaster. There's ups, there's downs, and being able to consciously bring yourself back into a higher state is going to be a really powerful tool to move forward through in life. And what he's realized is that there's a conductor of energy and memory and vibrational frequency. The water molecules respond to their environment. There's also another woman in New Zealand, and I wish I remember her name now. She also did this study, and she was testing it on spring water that she had from the mountains that she was close to, which is great. And she had the same experiences with this, and it's all well and good, but not all of us have access to a beautiful, natural, unpolluted spring that's not near any farmland, that hasn't had any treatment. You know that the runoff is good. So I would say probably 99% of the planet don't have access to that. And that's important. We need to be able to make the choices to be able to do what we can for ourselves, especially living in this world. So another incredible video, if you have the Gaia streaming platform, this is on that platform, and it's such a beautiful video, and I'm going to share a little bit about it in a second. But it really, it talks about how not all water is created equal, and it talks about Mr. Emoto's science work and how the consciousness of water responds. Every element responds. and how the difference between living water and dead water is created. So living water, like I said, we've got those natural springs and flowing streams and waterfalls where the negative ions are released into the air and we feel good. This is like the connection we have with nature. We feel good and we start to feel really relaxed and calm and in balance, as opposed to dead water. Now, dead water is really where it takes, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of these natural bodies of water, where it's chemically treated. It moves through these hard pipes and these hard lines and it's backwash and it's back, all these jarring movements. And dead water can also be bottled water, stagnant water. It's polluted with microplastics. It's had its natural life force taken out of it, and the crystalline geometry, it's not there anymore. It's not there. If you go to freeze that water, you're not going to get these beautiful crystalline effects that are high vibrational energy. So water, it's been proven that the water holds consciousness. And this other Kiwi woman, she would test different things, like she would ask it a question and the answer in this crystallized form sometimes would not sometimes actually would appear in the crystal, or if she touched it her fingerprint would appear, and it was almost like it was communicating with her. That was incredible. She has also been on Gaia streaming platform on different shows, but it just really cemented how the consciousness of water can is connected to us, because we are water, we are it, we're all part of this living organism on planet Earth, and this being, we are part of planet Earth, the consciousness of it. So, how do we bring water back to life when it's dead? When it's dead, energetically dead water, which is not going to be assimilated in our body very well compared to high vibrational living water. There's a few things that you can do. An ionized electrolyzed reduced water actually restores the natural vitality, mimicking what nature intended. So there's an ionization process, which is an electrolysis process, and it creates those negative ions in the water. And that's probably one of the easiest ways that we can mimic and replicate nature's way of supporting us. Prayer, energy, intention, and projection. I sat there with my ionized water and some lemon. I'm doing it all on this cup of water. I put intention, it's ionized water, and I've got lime, because lime also helps to restore the minerals back into the water and alkalizes it. So from here, I just actually want to show you, just for a couple of minutes, a little snippet from the Secrets of Water, because it's really beautiful share.
When scientists studied this high mountain environment in places where water is known for its healing properties, like Lourdes in France, they made an important discovery. They found that the pH level of these waters was highly ionized and very alkaline. While studying water, researchers exposed ordinary water to magnetically charged plates, creating a simple method of ionization, separating water into two streams, one alkaline and one acidic. The water from the alkaline stream significantly improves hydration because it is easier for the body to absorb. Water from tap or bottled sources is usually clustered in groups of 11 to 16 water molecules. During ionization, the water molecules are reduced to only 5 to 8 molecules per cluster. The percentage of oxygen increases significantly, which can be almost double the amount of tap or bottled water, allowing the body to maintain a proper pH balance.
Our lifespan is directly proportional to the amount of antioxidants we have in our body. And water is an important carrier of antioxidants. If you drink water that has large quantities of hydrogen, along with the right surface tension and right mineral content, then it will slow down the aging process. It will keep our mitochondria from dying, which provide us with the energy of life. And so we can expect to live longer. Essentially, it is said that we should live to be about 120 years old, and we often die long before that. So no one really dies of natural causes if they die younger than that. They die of dehydration.
What is acidic pH? What is acid? Acid is devoid of electrons, free electrons. What is alkali? Alkali is full of electrons. So our body should be slightly alkaline. What it means? It means that our body should contain enough electrons or hydrogen atoms, if you like, which will combine with oxygen. If we're acidic, then oxygen flows in, flows out, unused. If you don't have fuel, oxygen is useless. pH is a very important factor in overall health. To stay in balance, the body has to maintain its pH level because we're continuously generating acid wastes. When we eat, nutrients are transported to our cells and then burnt with oxygen, resulting in waste products that are almost always acidic. In a healthy body, our blood would pick up these wastes and carry them through the liver, kidneys, colon, or skin before removal. But worry, poor sleep and food choices, and environmental challenges limit our body's ability to remove acidic waste quickly enough. So the body compensates and transforms acidic waste to solid waste, storing the solid waste in less dangerous areas like arteries and especially fat tissues.
So I just thought it was really like an encompassing little snippet, really, that shows how that can work in our bodies and how our bodies respond better to having an alkaline, slightly alkaline body, and how we can do that through our food, having, they say the 80-20 rule with food, where you can eat 80%, and have 20% where you are maybe cheating. Just to keep yourself in balance. We want to be able to be fully balanced and enjoy life and treat ourselves too. So, hydration beyond the physical. Water is more than just hydration, as we've just discovered. It increases the cellular function and detoxification. And one thing that happens when we're dehydrated or not drinking quality water is that our blood can get thicker. And as we move through our life, as we age in particular, this is where thicker blood conditions can come about, heart attacks, strokes, stagnation in the liver, all these things. If we're not looking after our body and taking the preventative measures where we can, making the changes where we can to be self-responsible, this is how we end up finding all these ailments later in life. And we don't know where they come from. Could be the endocrine disruptors from all the foods and the sprays and the addins in the water and the shit that they're spraying from the sky. Pardon my language, but honestly, it all affects us, and it's all in our energy field, and it all affects our vibrational frequency. And this is why I'm such an advocate for detoxing our body at least twice a year. It's really important to do that. And if you haven't ever detoxed, please reach out to me and jump in on the next free group cleanse, because we have significant results from these things, and it's such a great experience to join in together and do this and support each other. So the next step in wellness is restoring the water that we drink. And as I said, the shift really after the cleanse for me came about when I decided to water fast. Now, I left it flexible for everybody, 1 to 3 days. I did 3 days last time and I actually nailed it really well. But this time I struggled. I didn't make 3 days and I did have to eat something, but it was okay. It's about listening to your body and understanding what your body needs. So when we've cleansed our body, we need to release the toxins and we reset our system. This is what it's about. It's about giving our gut a reset. It's about resting and relaxing so we can digest, and we can digest from a good energetic space also. And the replenishment is key, starting with the most vital element being the water. If we aren't drinking enough water, enough quality water, we're going to start to have problems in our life, in our bodies, and we're not going to know why. And sometimes it's just increasing the water, and the quality of the water that you're drinking can make all the difference. And I've seen it time and time again. And even in my practice, when we're in clinic with Ayurveda, water, actually, the quality of water was never discussed, but the quantity of water was always important, and how much water we get from our fruits and vegetables. that we eat. We need to be making sure that we get a mad amount of water content from that. So the water we drink, it's either charging our life force energy or it's draining it. What are you choosing? What water are you choosing? Not all water is created equal. So let's get into some solutions here that has been really profound for me and so many other people that we're sharing about it, because the truth is what is in our pipes through the city looks like that. And they probably don't share those photos too often, but we got our hands on some, and it's concerning to think what that muck is. There's chemicals in our water, drugs, antibiotics, hormones, painkillers, odors, sediment, rust, chlorine, fluoride, heavy metals, lead, mercury, arsenic, and they're all carcinogenics. And um, coming from New Zealand, I realized how important it was to have clean water. And I was on a bit of a mission for a long time, trying different options and trying different filters, and just knowing that I didn't want to taste chlorine. I certainly didn't want to taste any other weird thing. I didn't want floating anything in my water. Thank you very much. And it took some time to find a really good solution, one that really works. And for us now, we've got an incredible setup that I'll share about in a minute. But these are all really harmful byproducts that increase the risk of disease over a long period of time. If we think about it, we're drinking water day in, day out, and it's the accumulative effect that is really the problem for some people. Some people have just changed their water and the quality of their water, and their ailments have disappeared. There's no health claims here or anything, but the proof's in the pudding, to be honest. And things like chlorine is really a big chemical gut disruptor, and the amount of chlorine we absorb into our body just through the drinking water, just through the shower. Don't even get me started on the swimming pools. In fact, I've even stopped really going to the swimming pools as much because I would get such massive headaches afterwards from the chlorine, particularly in the spas where you're sitting there and that gas just sits right above, right, and you're inhaling that. And the migraines were just a bit next level for me. So let's bring this back to you. What type of water are you drinking? Let's break it down and see how it lands in this day and age, because in a perfect world, we wouldn't be having this conversation. In a perfect world, the spring water would be clean 100% of the time. But what's happening now is that we've got these, the risk of PFSAs, these forever chemicals, the heavy metals, and the exposure to those. And with spring water, people just don't have access to it. And if you're buying spring water from a bottle, you can guarantee it's pretty much not spring water. I've watched a few documentaries on the testing of water and water bottles and the pricing that they charge and what they claim. And it was astounding how it was mostly tap water and marketing. So, yes, an unpolluted area of spring water would be incredible. It really would be. But the reality is that we don't have access to that, most of us. And we have to test it every time we drink it, because there are different harmful bacteria and viruses that can reside in those. Filter water, yes, it's a partial solution, but do you know exactly what's coming out of it? Common home filters, some have remove some contaminants, but they leave behind other things like heavy metals, fluoride, byproducts of chlorine, and filters don't restore the minerals back into the water that we need, and it's still part of that lifeless, dead energy water. It's been through our taps and it's had those hard lines, and it hasn't had that natural flow and remineralization. It's such a big word for me, remineralization. Spit that out 10 times fast. Um, yeah, it hasn't had that. So there we are lowering the frequency of the water again. Now, bottled water, sure, it's a convenience, but if you are a greenie like myself, you will be appalled by how much plastic bottles are in the ocean, great ocean garbage patches, um, and how much doesn't get recycled, even though they claim it's recyclable and they're recycling it. And the microplastics, this is what we're living in now. This is a reality of our times, is the microplastics and ingesting them day in, day out. Plastic cups, plastic packaging, rubbing off onto the food that you're buying. It's in everything. It's in everything. I even bought soil. Compost is full of bloody plastic now. It blows my mind. I'm constantly picking out little bits of plastic from compost. It's it really annoys me. And it should annoy all of us. And it's all about doing the best we can. But microplastics have been found in people's brain tissue, in their kidney tissue, in sperm tissue. Like, honestly, this is a real problem and it's an environmental nightmare. Rainwater. Yes, it sounds beautiful, and rainwater has just got this high vibrations, comes from nature. But now we're dealing with chemtrails, and what is that rain bringing down to us in our rainwater? Do we have to filter that also? It's slightly acidic, and it can carry different things that it picks up along the way. And rainwater tanks, like, I love the idea of it, but I've never been able to go there because of the animals and the insects that die in it. That like that bothers me. And like, sure, there's things, do you have to then treat the water if something dies in it? Like, anyway, that might just be me, and maybe people have found great solutions around that. Reverse osmosis water. So this is really great, but what happens with reverse osmosis is that it strips the minerals, and then you're having to add minerals back into your drinking water. It's still not this natural process that's mimicking nature. And we've got distilled water, and really it's just stripped of its minerals, and it disrupts your pH body balance. And often it's stored in plastic bottles. So we're then dealing with microplastics, and enough said. So did you know the average person ingests about 5 grams of plastic a week? When I heard this, it was probably only last year or the year before, I was like, what? That is out of control. And then I'm like, there's no way that's happening. And then I thought about, like I said just before, everything is wrapped in plastic. Our drinking cups are plastic. This one's glass, thankfully. I'm trying to minimize the amount of plastic I have in my life. But it's unavoidable, it's everywhere. And chlorine is the common water additive that creates harmful byproducts, the THMs, and they're shown to have long-term exposure to THMs creates incredible health issues for people: respiratory problems, skin irritation, increased risk of liver, kidney, central nervous system damage, unseen endocrine disruptors. So what we're dealing with now is this overload of toxins in our environment. We are bombarded it from that end, this end. Everything has something added to it, sprayed on it. All these foods, if it's got more than 4 or 5 ingredients on the back of it, give it a wide berth. If it's got a number, remove it. If it's called natural flavors, let me tell you, there's nothing natural about those natural flavors. And what's happening is because we're consuming them like they're normal. We consume them like we've done this for our entire existence. But our bodies are upgrading energetically as we evolve as people, and it has less tolerance for the pollutants that we are bombarding our body with all these additives in our food and water. And it's the long-term effect. It's the unseen effect over a long period of time. That's the problem. And, you could say you live a really clean, healthy life, but there's always something more that we can do. And you might end up with some of these complaints and not know why. You don't know why. Nothing's changed. I haven't changed anything. But it's because there's this long-term exposure to certain things. And then you can all of a sudden have a reaction. For me, this year, I I developed a dairy allergy out of nowhere, really. I've never been a big dairy eater, but I started to have a little bit more. Then I went a bit hard at Christmas, at Easter time, ate too many chocolates, and boom, my lips puffed up. Not in the most beautiful way either. And then I tested it. I didn't want to let go of that little bit of butter on my sourdough. I didn't want to let go of, certain things that chocolate was probably my biggest downfall. And then all of a sudden, overnight, every time I had it, it got worse and worse and worse. So it went from having puffy lips to a full-blown allergic reaction on my face to the point now where, and that probably happened 3 or 4 times as I was trying to figure out what was going on and mentally not wanting to let go of some dairy and just testing it, hoping it wasn't that, but it was that. But now I'm at the point where if I have something and I don't realize and I have a big mung out on it and a hoedown, I could be looking at anaphylaxis reaction, and that's because of this exposure to something. There's a whole other thing around dairy anyway, but this is my experience, how things can change quickly in the body, and it can be anything. Depends what your weak spot is in your body. We call it the Kuvai Gunya point in Ayurveda, which everyone has a weak point in their body. So when you become stressed and your immune system drops, there's something that flares up, that always flares up. That's your weak point, starts there, and we just want to make sure we're getting on top of it. Anyway, I digress. The average adult is exposed to over 700,000 different chemicals. Like, let that land for a minute. That is, that's too much. That is just, all right, that's just too much. Like household products, your cleaning products, the food, the sprays on your food, the air fresheners. I can't even handle fly spray. Can't even deal. I just can't do it anymore. And the chronic disease are linked, all these chronic diseases, they're just linked to toxin exposure and autoimmune disorders. They're on the rise. 6 out of 10 adults are developing in developed countries are experiencing these. And it's only going to get worse if we don't take control of our own health. So nanoplastics are invading the human cells, carrying toxic chemicals and posing a serious threat to our health. It is a disaster, really. The nanoplastics in the ocean, in our soils, everything that I mentioned before, and the heavy metals that everything's being trapped into as well. Heavy metals are a big one, and if you want to know how to remove those, please contact me. I've got a really easy way to help you remove heavy metals from your body, because those, when they land in your body, they also affect everything depending on where they deposit themselves. If it's in the brain, what happens with heavy metals? That is a metal. It's not just a word. It's not just a thing that doesn't do anything. A heavy metal lands in your body, and what does metal do when it's exposed to moisture? It rusts. So then we've got this rust that forms in our body. And then the rust actually feeds some various viral loads, and their toxic waste create more problems for you. This is how it goes. And it's scary to think, but it's about taking control of our own health and doing what we can and being self-responsible. So we're underestimating the PFAS threat. Now, these are the forever chemicals that we are only really just hearing about. Think about how long these have been in our life for. All the waterproofing, anything that's waterproof has got PFAS on it. The fire retardant sprays. I found out that waterproof mascara has it in it. Like, I'm constantly overwhelmed and shocked, but not surprised at the same time about how much these are in our everyday products. And they call them forever chemicals is because they don't break down. They are with you forever. And then if they're absorbed into your body, your liver is having to process those and try and rid them out through the detoxification process and detoxes, like we need to do every couple of times a year, so that we can, our body and our organ and our liver can release these safely through the natural pathways. But the problem is that we're just bombarded with it. It's constant. Like there'll be PFSAs. It's probably on the cover, the covering on my couch is what I've realized. It's probably that anti-stain, whatever it is they put on my couch that I bought like 5 years ago, probably on there. It's a real problem, and it's burying our head in the sand about it isn't going to solve the problem. And you know what, the regulatory bodies, they're not doing anything about it. And what has happened recently is that they say there's a safe level of forever chemicals you can be exposed to. Cool. Are we at that safe level? Oh, we can't get it down. So the new safe levels, we're just going to rise it up. The safe level's now here. They don't tell you they can't get it down. They just quietly put those levels up and wait for the noise to disappear and hope that nobody notices. That's exactly what's been happening in our government. So the choices you make today matter, and being self-responsible, this is like radical self-responsibility is like a bit of a tag that I like to share about. Now, I'm here about solutions as well. So one machine that I've come across that has been so pivotal in up leveling my wellness journey is this machine here. And it replaces all of these chemicals in the home um, in one go through just water. So I'm going to share into that a little bit more. And look, we just want to be able to save the planet by reducing the plastic waste, the chemicals in your home. How much plastic is in the chemicals that we buy to clean our home? The waterways, the ocean, the animals. And we can save thousands by replacing harmful cleaners, chemicals with non-toxic, acidic, and alkalized waters from these machines. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about these machines because they are really an incredible wellness tool. They're not a water filter, they're ionizers. If you go around thinking that this is a water filter, you've got the wrong handle here because the filtration is just the beginning of the capabilities of this machine. So it's hydration that heals and on a cellular level. We call it Kangen water, and it reduces oxidative stress, improves cellular balance, and ensures the body is properly detoxified. So when we get people starting on this water, we don't go straight into highly alkaline water. You're not meant to drink the highest alkaline water. The drinking water is between 7 and 9.5. We don't go straight into 9.5 because the body responds in a strong detoxification process. We need to just gradually do it. We don't have to have these big purges and release these we can just do it gradually and gently. It optimizes our health outcomes. A lot of athletes are using this because of the recovery rates improved dramatically. And this is through the molecular hydrogen. It's the antioxidant superpower. So this water, believe it or not, is high in antioxidants, higher than blueberries and green tea. And with the molecular hydrogen, the water clusters are smaller, like we've seen in the video. So they actually penetrate on a cellular level into our tissues way more efficiently than tap water, way more efficiently. So what people find when they start drinking this water is that they're they they're just more hydrated. And if you're more hydrated on a cellular level, think about what is happening in your organs and everywhere, things that you don't even know that's happening in your body. So fuel your body with the purest water. And this is the one thing that I've come across that we can have in our homes on our bench top, drinking this day in and day out. And it's going to be mimicking the best we can from the ionization and the purity that we can get from these springs that we don't have access to, these waterfalls that we can't sit by every single day. And this is what it does. It's got really high negative ion potential. And this is why people are feeling so amazing with it. It's the best thing that we can do to support our health without living in the bush and drinking from the natural unpolluted stream. This is about having real world practical solutions, and all the powerful antioxidants in this water through the process. It's a simple process, but it's a powerful process. We neutralize the free radicals in our body. And what do the free radicals do in our system? They cause illness, they cause inflammation, they cause problems. So and they cause aging actually. So being able to neutralize these free radicals helps the aging process. And we're able to bring the body into a more alkaline state. And we've got lots of videos and tests that we can show another time where it shows when we add this alkaline water to coffee, to fizzy drinks, to all these acidic drinks, how it actually it just beautifully neutralizes it straight away. They're great videos to watch. So if you haven't heard of them before, this is an enagic product and it's called Kangen water. So it's a machine, it's 50 years this company's been in working incredible business for. It's an international product. They're leaders in innovation of the product, and they are actually medical grade ionizers that they have in many hospitals in Japan. So that they've proven the test and time, and anyone who has one of these would never part with it. Some people even travel with it. They just take it in their on plane luggage and cuddle it, I suppose. And the philosophy of Enagic is to change your water, change your life, because this is what we've seen. This is exactly what we've seen is people changing their water, having the purest of water they can, alkaline water if they want it, really ionized, high vibrational water. And this is making the difference in people's health and wellness. The body is made up of 70% water, and it's the basis of our vitality and long life. It's water. And we talked about this at the start of things, and Enagic's been the pioneer and the innovator of alkaline ionized water technologies. They've really got this beautiful flagship model that people start with that will serve the family perfectly, that machine in particular. And everything is 100% hand constructed in Japan. Even the box packaging is made in-house. And we ship to 25 countries in 43 locations. So this is really a powerful wellness tool, and these machines are actually lasting 25 to 30 years, so they're a one-off investment, and if you purchase it you can also end up if you wanted to become a distributor, there's an option to do that also. So the K8, what this is about, it has 5 versatile types of water. It's not just turn it on, it happens. You can see there's 2 hoses, one at the top, one at the bottom. And because the pH, you can set whatever pH you want. So if you want 2.5 water for cleaning, you can press the 2.5 button. It goes Kangen water 2.5 and then it comes out. If you want 7 pH water for watering your plants, if you want 6 pH, you can just press the button on the digital screen. It can talk to you, you can turn it off if you need to, and it comes out. And you can see all these beautiful awards that they've gotten over the time as well, and these certifications that are really difficult to attain. So how it works is inside the beautiful casing, one side on the left that you can see actually holds a filter. So on the right side are these titanium plates. So when the water comes into the machine, it moves through these titanium plates in a natural flowing method, like we talked about, bringing the life back to this dead tap water. And it goes through this electrolysis process. It's just an electrical process where it then can split the atoms so that you're getting whatever pH water you want. One pH will come out the top hose, a different pH will come out the bottom hose, because you've got to be able to make up the full pH spectrum. That's why there's 2 hoses. And it depends on what you want to use. So as I said, it lasts 25 to 30 years, and there's a 5-year manufacturer warranty on these things. So just a quick look over here. If you choose the 2.5 strong acidic water, we're talking about acid water. This is not drinking water. You do not put this in your mouth for a drink. It's like using an antibacterial. It kills microbes. It disinfects. I clean my floors with it. I clean the toilet with it. I've used it as hand sanitizer when my daughter had allergic reactions to using hand sanitizer. Her whole hands blew up, much like my face, really. I just realized over that COVID period of time where they were constantly hand sanitizing. You use this water, no problems. Removes hard water spots and rust, facial lifting and tightening, better oral health. You can use it if you've got sores in your mouth or if you've got a sore throat. You give it a gargle, spit it out. It can actually stop vomiting. Now, I know I just said you don't drink this water, but if you have 1 teaspoon and you've got bugs in your gut that are causing you to vomit, it will kill those bugs. 1 teaspoon. Sore throat, like I said, sinus clear, you can use it like a neti pot, especially if you've got nasal infection. And you can treat open wounds and burns with it. Just put it in a spray and spray it on, and it acts like a disinfectant. You don't have to use anything with chemicals in it. It's incredible. All right, and then we've got 4.0 to 6 pH water. So you can use this this is really beautiful as a toner, actually, toning it on your, splashing it on your skin. And look, I honestly thought all this was just words. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then I did it and I'm like, oh my, I can actually, I didn't realize how much the pH of everything really affected everything. Soothes rashes, boil for eggs, pasta, use it in your food if you want to. And 7.0 is a really good one for clean watering your plants. You can use the alkaline water on plants also if you're going to treat something. If there's a fungal something in the plant, you can just trying different pHs. But the optimum drinking water is 8.5 to 9.5. Now, this is a choice. You don't actually have to drink this alkaline water. Some people get the machines and replace all their chemicals and use it for their cooking and everything, and just stick to drinking 7 pH water because usually, tap water sits around 6 to 7 pH. So it is that we do say it's the best deep drinking water because then you've got these smaller water clusters that as it goes alkaline and you're actually alkalining acidity in your body. Now, there's been a lot of talk around you can't make your gut too alkaline because it's an acidic environment. Yes, that's right, 100% true, but that's not what this water does. It doesn't make your stomach acids any less acidic. It actually passes through without any interference and then neutralizes where it needs to in the gut. And we absorb more of this water also because of the aqueduct ports that we have in our gut that uptake the water really well. So 11.5 is strong Kangen water. So here, this is a really powerful one. What it does is actually removes very quickly, which I was surprised, any herbicide, pesticides, and waxes that are sitting on your fruit and veg. I often share in my stories the before and after. I've got some berries and other fruits that I've got from the market. I rinse some in tap water. I rinse some in the 11.5 pH. And it blows my, yes, the tap water you can see is a little murky. There's a few bits floating around in there. It doesn't, you feel good that you've taken it off. Then you compare it to the stuff that's sitting in the 11.5 and it will blow your mind. And when you put berries in there also, it comes out like urine color. So it goes to show what's not coming off when you rinse it with just tap water versus an alkaline water. And it blows my brain. But you can also use it as like a emulsifier, a degreaser, polished silver. I haven't tried that one yet, paint thinner, and reduces inflammation from insect bites because, it's inflamed. We can bring it down by lowering the pH. So don't just take my word for it. This company has been around for a long time, but don't head into Google because Google is just, especially with the AI stuff now, you're just going to get a randomized God knows what come up. But head into where the science and where the facts are. It's called PubMed, and you can Google electrolyzed reduce in PubMed, sorry, search electrolyzed reduced water or molecular hydrogen and see what it's doing. See how this is improving people's health. It is next level on your wellness tool belt. So, in saying that, I just want to show you one other quick video on alkaline water and how it affects our cells.
The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. Using a special microscope, we shall be able to see the condition of her body from this drop.
These are red blood cells, and they've lost their electrical charge. So they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. Here's a huge symplast. Symplasts are associated with heart disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structured water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
You can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood. I think that's utterly amazing that just drinking water could do that.
One way to counteract overacidity is by drinking alkaline water. We can measure the beneficial effects clinically with a new technology called polyinterference photography. This machine analyzes the body using light analysis technology. The subject is exposed to controlled, full-spectrum light. This study volunteer had been drinking mostly soda pop on a regular basis. The doctor notes that the participant suffers severe congestion in the areas around the liver, pancreas, and spleen. A bright pink spot also appears where the participant reports having regular severe migraine headaches. The volunteer is asked to drink only alkaline water for 5 days and then return for a follow-up exam. The red areas where congestion was recorded are now a clearer blue, indicating that the blockages are shrinking in size. The pink spot marking the point of headaches is gone, and the volunteer confirms that he hasn't suffered migraines since the drinking of the alkaline water. The research team examined the same participant using electrophoton imaging. This technology, based on the Kirlian effect, takes an image from each finger using a high-voltage electrical field and reads its photon or light emission. Each finger corresponds to specific regions of the body. The participant's first scan shows several gaps in his energy field, representing specific organs. Once again, the weak points indicate the pancreas and liver. After 5 days of drinking alkaline water, these gaps are reduced. The case study's image is brighter and more consistent, representing improved health, including the areas of the pancreas and liver. Even more conclusive proof can be seen using live blood cell analysis. This is a blood sample taken before the participant began the water experiment. The volunteer drank a gallon of alkaline water that day, and another blood sample is taken 24 hours later. We can see how just drinking alkaline water improved the cellular environment of his blood. The participant continued drinking good water for 2 months. During that interval, he lost a total of 20 pounds and gained leaner muscle mass.
Okay, so you can see really how profound of a change it was for him. And structured water is what we create out of this machine, and when they referred to it as structured water. And when he was drinking, you could see that it looked a little bit cloudy. Now, what that is hydrogen bubbles that are about haven't burst yet. So that's a good sign. We love seeing bubbles in our water. It's not fizzy, it's just these hydrogen bubbles to show you that there's good amounts of hydrogen in there. So another aspect that we don't really consider is what we're bathing in and what we're showering in every day. So we've got the chlorine and the heavy metals that are trapped in the water and seep into our skin. So as I said before, chlorine absorbs into your skin immediately. And when we've done tests on putting our hands in just tap water and then testing what chlorine is in it. All the chlorine's gone, all of it. If anyone wants that study, I can send that through to you. And it all gets absorbed into our body. It's highly absorbed into our body, which is concerning. Irritates the skin, weakens our immune system, and increases inflammation. So, one thing that I have at home here, and one thing that I want to share with you is what we call the Anespa Day Spa shower, and it hooks up into your shower system. And it's not an ionizer, so we can't set the pH on this, but what it does is it filters, there's one filter inside, and it filters the water that comes through your tap, removes all the chlorine and all the debris and all the things that you don't want in your shower water. Absolutely don't want the chlorine in there. And it remineralizes, there's that word again. It remineralizes the water. So if you don't know the difference between tap water shower and spa, we call this spa water shower. Until you use it, you won't understand. Again, another one where I thought they're just going to talk. I'm not really going to notice anything. But for me, what ended up happening, I fried my hair from bleaching it years ago, and it took years to grow back. I was like, even conditioner isn't helping me here. I tested this when I first got it, and I showered and washed my hair and put no conditioner in. And my hair had not been that soft in years. No conditioner. I actually just didn't even think that was possible. And it's a really beautiful one for people who have irritated skin and skin allergies or suffer from eczema, because we're now removing these irritants from that water that absorbs straight into our skin. Our skin's our biggest organ. Whatever goes into your skin goes into your body, and it goes through your processing inside of your liver. Okay, what else we got? And it's one thing I realized also when I had it for the first time. It's always the best time to really pay attention is the first time you use it, because then you just get used to having just great water. Is how soft it felt, and I haven't really felt soft water. I realized since living in New Zealand and having the rainwater tanks that we used to have. So this was a really beautiful experience, actually. And you leave feeling way better about yourself and about your health also. So we're coming to an end now, but what I really just wanted to unlock here was just so that, whenever you purchase a product of an Anespa or a K8 water machine, an ionizer, there is a potential to open up more possibilities if that's something that you're looking for. We have a beautiful community of women that we collaborate with to share about the water and the business opportunity. And we are just great at being each other's support network and lift each other up and share our health journeys and share our successes and hold us through these hard times of being in business. Because you're not in business on your own here. So every machine you purchase, if you wanted to, actually automatically unlocks what we call a distributor ID. And then if you wanted to, this can be a gateway to a business potential for you. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you decide to do it in 10 years' time, you can do it. It's no big deal. And yeah, you get to actually just integrate into our existing wellness business, and we're really soul aligned and really share what we love and earn, basically. So if you're a bit scared about that, we offer all the support, mentorship and training and mindset work. This is really a conscious business. So if that's something that you want to explore or you're open to, please let me know and I can walk you through that as well. And if you do decide to step into a business model with us in the next few weeks, we are actually having a VIP day where we're going to hack our health and wealth. So it's a bit of a VIP event. You guys are actually being the first to hear about this. We're actually launching this tomorrow, but we're going to be doing ceremonial cacao, breath work, biohacking, live blood analysis. You get to learn about the business and have strategy, and we're having it at a beautiful mansion where we're going to be saunering and swimming and being hydrated and nourished with food, and we've got some beautiful guest speakers. So this is at people's fingertips if that is something that is desired. So this is really coming to wrapping it up now, excuse me, and this has been one of the biggest things that I've experienced in terms of shifting health and my vibrational energy. Obviously, it's layered, but to have this at your fingertips, to drink day in and day out from your kitchen, you know that you're actually doing the best thing you can for you and your family to make sure that you're not exposing yourself to all these harmful chemicals and toxins, and being able to eliminate many that are in the household that cause problems that we don't even realize. So your next steps here, beautiful people, is just to reach out to me if you have any questions about the information I shared. If you just want to share about how lit up you are about the energetics of all this, because it's next level and it is the thing that's going to increase our vibration. Let's just chat about it. And if you want to know more about the business opportunity, hit me up, because we are recruiting in time for our biohack day retreat, business retreat. So thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I love sharing this, and I hope you got a lot out of it. And reach out and we'll have a chat.